Hi everyone. Today we are going to say about sleep physiology. In this video, we are going to see under three headings, that is what is sleep physiology and why does that sleep occurs and who is responsible for the sleep, that is what is the mechanism behind the sleep. First, coming to the definition, what is sleep? It is a state of reversible unconsciousness, that is reversible unconsciousness in which brain is less responsive to external stimulus. When you read this definition, you can come across a similar definition like this for the coma. That is, it is also a state of reversible unconsciousness in which the brain is unresponsiveness. In sleep, it is less responsive, but in a coma, it is non-responsive to the external stimulus. Okay. When we consider sleep, there are about two types of sleep. One is rapid eye movement sleep. Another one is a non-rapid eye movement sleep. It has a REM sleep and NREM sleep. Okay. The NREM sleep can further divided into four stages: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 and stage 4. In some books, they will together call the stage 3 and 4 as a third stage. But here we are going to see under four stages: 1, 2, 3 and 4. When a young adult, when a young adult, when he begins to sleep, he will start in NREM sleep. Okay, that is, now he is awake. When he is about to sleep, he will proceed to NREM stage 1, then stage 2, then stage 3, then stage 4. After the stage 4, this third and fourth stage sleeps are called as deep sleeps. Okay, deep sleep. Once he reaches the deep sleep, then again the sleep lightens. Sleep lightens. That means he again will come back to the stage 1 NREM sleep. Then he will goes to the REM sleep. Okay, now he reaches the NREM state. Consider this is the first minute he enters into the NREM stage. To have the REM stage of sleep, the first cycle, that means the first cycle when he begins, after he begins to sleep, the REM sleep occurs for the first time at about the 70 minutes after the sleep. In subsequent cycles, it occurs in every 190 to 120 minutes. Okay, this normal pattern. It is present for young adults. That is, he begins in an NREM stage 1, then proceeds to stage 2, 3, 4, then sleep lightens, then he comes back to the REM stage, then again the sleep cycle continues. But when you consider children or infants, it is not necessary that they should begin their sleep at the NREM sleep. They can begin their sleep in REM. In fact, these infants spends their most of their time in the REM stage only. Okay, begins at the REM stage. See this diagram. This is sleep stages. This is the duration for the children and the young adults. As we discussed, for the young adults, the sleep begins where it begins. This is he, he from the awake. It begins at the REM, that is the NREM, stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3, and stage 4. And this is the time duration he spends at this every stages. Okay. See, in the first cycles, first hours, they spend most of their time at the stage 4 and stage 3 almost. Then after the sleep lightens, then in again will come to the REM stage. Then he will stay for some times. Okay. Then again it will goes to the NREM stage 1 stage like that. So as the sleep proceeds, what do you observe? You can observe that the duration of REM sleep increases. As you see here, only this much. See, the late hours, the REM sleep, the duration of REM sleep increases. And also you can observe that the stage 3 and stage 4 disappears as the sleep proceeds. Stage 3 and stage 4 is gone in the late hours. Okay. Rather, we see for the children. What do you observe? Like kind of in similar pattern as that of the young adults, but you can find major difference is that, see how they are spending sleep in the stage 3 and the stage 4. As the hours, as the sleep proceeds also in the late hours and the early mornings, even though it comes to late early morning, the stage 3 and 4 proceeds or it comes in between and go. Okay, so these are the main difference. The main difference is that the duration of REM increases as the sleep proceeds, and the stage 3 and stage 4 is no longer exist in case of the young adults. Okay, there is no picture for the infants. If there no, I will update you after some times. Okay, and when we take normally, young adults spends most of their time in the stage 2 of NREM. The NREM stage 2 constitutes about 40 to 55 percentage of the total duration of the sleep. Okay, as such, together it includes like stage 1 or 2 3 4, it contributes for about 75 to 80 percentage, while REM constitutes about 20 to 20, and this percentage will increase as the sleep proceeds. Okay, so the final message is that a man spends most of their time at the sleep at the stage 2 of NREM, that contribute about 40 to 55 percentage, and the total duration of REM is increases as the sleep proceeds. Okay, okay, then we will come to the question that who causes the sleep. That is, we are going to see about the sleep generating mechanisms in our body. Before going to the sleep generating mechanisms, we should know that what in our body actually make us awake. That is wakefulness state. How wakefulness state is produced. Okay. After knowing this, we will proceed from wakefulness states how sleep occurs. Okay. In this, we are going to see three main important structures. One is the brainstem, thalamus, hypothalamus. Okay, these are the three major structures involved in the making the person's wakefulness. Okay, when we take the brain stems, there are about neurotransmitters released from the brain stem, and it goes through the cortex via thalamus and extrathalamic route. That we know that the brainstem constitutes about, our brainstem includes what are the structures? Midbrain, pons, and medulla, right? So we have the neurons from all these three regions from all these three regions, they reach the thalamus first. Thalamus, and they will distribute to all over the cortex. This is one of the route, and also from these neurons they will reach the hypothalamus also, and from hypothalamus also the projections goes over the all over the cortex. Apart from these structures, there is some other structures involved, like here that is basal forebrain. From here also we have the connections all over the cortex and makes the cortex in awake state. What are the neurotransmitter actually involved in this making the person awake all the time? We have three major groups. Sorry, monoamine neurotransmitter, and another one is acetylcholine, and another one is hypocretin or orexin. Okay, these monoamine neurotransmitters, they are from the brainstem regions, and acetylcholine from brainstem and basal forebrain, and from hypocretin, here this is from hypothalamus, okay. See, I am repeating here with these neurotransmitters putting together in this pathway. The monoamines from the midbrain, pons and this medulla, they reaches the cortex via the thalamus. We have an thalamus, that is intrathalamic nucleus. They lay in the intrathalamic nucleus, and from there it spreads all over the cortex and makes the cortex in excitable state, that is awake state. Also, we have a group of neurons arising from the basal forebrain, which releases acetylcholine, which will also help us in making the brain in awake state. And there we have an extrathalamic route also, like, so without going to the thalamus, some of the fibers from the brainstem, it reaches the hypothalamus. From the hypothalamus, especially in hypothalamus, it reaches the posterior hypothalamus. It reaches the posterior hypothalamus. From there it sends the fibers, especially the hypocretin orexin, and activate the cortex and makes the person awake. This whole system we call it as ARAS, ascending reticular activating system, or simply ascending arousal system. Okay, simply ascending arousal system or ascending reticular activating system. Okay, so this ascending arousal system is responsible for the making the person's awake state. Okay, and considering the importance of acetylcholine here, I would like to add one more point regarding acetylcholine alone, that we have an special set of acetylcholine releasing neurons in pons, which is also responsible for the REM sleep. Means, especially in pons, we have both, that is two sets of cells or two sets of neurons, kind of, we can say anything, two types of cells, that is wake on, REM on cells. Wake of REM on cells. if these cells get excited, they will lead to an awake state, and this will, if it gets excited, it will produces REM sleep. Okay, just for time being, you just remember that pons, we have a special set of nerve fibers which releases acetylcholine, which is also responsible for the REM sleep. Okay, how it causes. Okay, okay.